Imagine being born into a world where you don't belong. You open your eyes for the first time, and the blood of two powerful predators flows through your veins: the jaguar, a solitary hunter of the jungle, and the lion, king of the savannah and ruler of the pride. On paper it sounds majestic. Half lion, half jaguar, strong, rare, unique. But the truth is far from beautiful. To be born as a Jaglion is not a blessing, it's a curse. From the moment of birth, you are caught between two worlds that will never accept you. Your coat carries the rosettes of a jaguar, but the sandy undertones of a lion, making you stand out too much in both the jungle and the savannah. You are too patterned for the pride, too large and social for the rainforest. You are a mismatch. A hybrid that doesn't truly belong anywhere. And beyond appearance lies biology. Your very body struggles to keep balance. The genes of two predators that evolved for different habitats collide inside you. You are at risk of weak joints, fragile bones, and even sterility. Your instincts pull you in two opposite directions: hunt with the pride, or ambush alone. But you master neither. Humans look at you with awe, calling you rare, beautiful, or even magical. Yet, behind the glass walls of a zoo or the cages of an exotic breeder, your life is one of confinement and spectacle. You exist not because nature chose you, but because humans forced your creation. And in that choice, you lost the one thing every creature deserves: the chance to truly belong. Imagine being born into a world where you don't belong. You open your eyes for the first time, and the blood of two powerful predators flows through your veins: the jaguar, a solitary hunter of the jungle, and the lion, king of the savannah and ruler of the pride. On paper it sounds majestic. Half lion, half jaguar, strong, rare, unique. But the truth is far from beautiful. To be born as a Jaglion is not a blessing, it's a curse. From the moment of birth, you are caught between two worlds that will never accept you. Your coat carries the rosettes of a jaguar, but the sandy undertones of a lion, making you stand out too much in both the jungle and the savannah. You are too patterned for the pride, too large and social for the rainforest. You are a mismatch, a hybrid that doesn't truly belong anywhere. And beyond appearance lies biology. Your very body struggles to keep balance. The genes of two predators that evolved for different habitats collide inside you. You are at risk of weak joints, fragile bones, and even sterility. Your instincts pull you in two opposite directions: hunt with the pride or ambush alone. But you master neither. Humans look at you with awe, calling you rare, beautiful, or even magical. Yet, behind the glass walls of a zoo or the cages of an exotic breeder, your life is one of confinement and spectacle. You exist not because nature chose you, but because humans forced your creation. And in that choice, you lost the one thing every creature deserves: the chance to truly belong. To understand the tragedy of the Jaglion, we must first understand what it truly is. A Jaglion is the offspring of a male jaguar and a female lion. In the wild, these two big cats would never meet, let alone mate. Jaguars belong to the dense forests of South America, stealthy ambush predators who stalk riversides and jungle shadows. Lions, on the other hand, rule the open plains of Africa in social groups called prides. One thrives in solitude, the other in community. Their worlds are thousands of miles apart, separated not only by geography but by behavior, diet, and evolution itself. So how does a Jaglion come to exist? Not by nature's hand, but by human curiosity. Most Jaglions have been bred in captivity, often in zoos or by exotic animal collectors eager to produce something unusual for attention or profit. On the surface, it looks like a marvel, a living fusion of two apex predators. But if you look closely, you see the truth. The Jaglion's existence is artificial, unnatural, and deeply unfair to the animal itself. Their appearance reflects this unnatural blending. Some Jaglions carry faint spots across a sandy or tawny background. Others are darker with bolder rosettes. Their body structure is often broad and heavy like a jaguar, but their faces may carry the softer features of a lion. These differences may sound beautiful, but they are a visible reminder that they don't fully belong to either lineage. The tragedy begins here. The Jaglion is not a species, It is not recognized in nature. It has no place in the evolutionary story of the big cats. It cannot return to the jungle as a jaguar, nor can it roam the savannah as a lion. Instead, it lives in limbo, created for human fascination, but denied the dignity of true belonging. The challenges of being a Jaglion go far deeper than appearance. The body itself becomes a battlefield where two genetic codes collide. Jaguars evolved to thrive in dense, wet, humid environments, using immense bite strength to crush skulls and shells of prey. Lions evolved to hunt in groups on open grasslands, relying on stamina, teamwork, and raw power. When these traits are forced together, the result is confusion, inefficiency, and vulnerability. For example, Jaglions often inherit the stocky build and powerful jaws of the jaguar, but lack the perfected solitary hunting instincts. At the same time, they may inherit the social tendencies of lions, but without the full pride structure to support them. This means they do not excel at either strategy. In the wild, this would almost guarantee failure. They would struggle to hunt effectively, to survive alone, or to bond with others. On top of this behavioral mismatch comes the issue of health. Hybrids are notorious for genetic complications. Some Jaglions are born sterile, unable to reproduce. Others suffer joint problems, organ stress, or shorter lifespans. Even if they look healthy on the outside, their bodies may carry hidden weaknesses. Every step of their life is weighed down by a genetic compromise. But perhaps the cruelest challenge is not in their body, but in their instincts. A Jaglion does not know who it truly is. Its father's blood whispers solitude, stealth, and silence, while its mother's legacy demands unity, roar, and pride. These instincts clash within the animal, leaving it uncertain of its role. Does it hide or does it lead? Does it stalk silently or does it charge boldly? With no clear guidance, the Jaglion remains trapped in confusion. For humans, this becomes entertainment. People marvel at their unusual beauty, post their pictures online, and call them rare treasures. But what they forget is that behind every stare is an animal struggling with its very identity. The Jaglion is celebrated for its uniqueness, while silently suffering the consequences of human interference. The deeper tragedy of the Jaglion unfolds when we look at its daily life. Imagine being placed in a world where your instincts don't fit, your environment isn't made for you, and your own kind doesn't exist. That is the reality of this hybrid. Unlike lions, Jaglions have no pride to teach them the art of social hunting. Unlike jaguars, they do not grow up in solitude, learning the patient ambush of riverbanks. They are born into captivity, surrounded not by wilderness, but by fences and concrete. In many cases, Jaglions never get to develop natural behaviors at all. They are raised under human care, fed by keepers, and watched by curious eyes. Their identity as predators is stripped away. They may pace endlessly in their enclosures, restless and bored, instincts untamed and unfulfilled. Their very presence becomes a sideshow, a reminder of how far removed they are from the natural order. And yet they are not entirely alone in this fate. Many other hybrids, leggers, tigons, lepjags, suffer the same confusion. But the Jaglion's case is unique because of the distance between its parent species. The jaguar and lion are not neighbors in the wild. They are strangers from opposite continents. Their offspring is not just unnatural. It is a creation that would never occur without human interference. The turning point comes when we realize the cost. By breeding Jaglions, we do not save species, we distract from real conservation efforts. While jaguars face deforestation in the Amazon and lions decline due to poaching and habitat loss, resources are spent showcasing hybrids that cannot contribute to survival in the wild. The Jaglion is a living paradox, admired as a wonder, yet useless in the fight for survival of big cats. This leaves the Jaglion in a cruel position. It becomes a symbol of beauty without purpose, of life without belonging. And as we stare at its spotted coat behind the glass of a zoo, the question lingers: did we create this animal for its own good, or simply for our amusement? Here lies the heart of the lesson. The Jaglion is not just an animal, but a mirror held up to humanity. Its existence forces us to ask why we feel the need to create hybrids at all. Is it curiosity, greed, a thirst for spectacle. Behind every Jaglion is a story not of nature's power, but of human desire. The lesson is clear. When humans interfere with the natural order for novelty, we create suffering. We take two species perfectly adapted to their worlds and merge them into one creature with no world of its own. We rob the Jaglion of its birthright, replacing freedom with confinement, belonging with confusion. But it also teaches us about responsibility. If we are capable of creating such lives, then we must be equally capable of protecting the ones that already exist. Instead of breeding hybrids, what if we focused on saving lions from shrinking prides and jaguars from vanishing forests? What if the awe we feel for the Jaglion was redirected into preserving the wild beauty that nature intended? The Jaglion becomes a living reminder of balance. It shows us what happens when we tip the scales too far, when curiosity outpaces wisdom. Its suffering is not meaningless if we are willing to learn. Through it, we are called to respect boundaries, to protect species as they are, not as we imagine them to be. So when we speak of Jaglions, we must not simply marvel at their rarity. We must acknowledge the lesson they carry, that not every creation is progress, and not every rarity is a treasure. Some are warnings written in fur and bone, waiting for us to pay attention. And so we come to the reflection. The life of a Jaglion is not just the story of one hybrid. It is the story of what happens when belonging is stripped away. In a world where every creature is designed with purpose, the Jaglion is left without one. It cannot roam free, cannot contribute to the survival of its kind, and it cannot escape the cages built around it. It exists only because humans willed it into existence. But in its struggle lies a message that reaches beyond biology. Every human knows what it feels like to question belonging, to wonder where we fit, to feel torn between two identities. The Jaglion's life is a metaphor for that universal struggle. It shows us the pain of being caught between worlds, of never fully being one thing or another. And in that reflection we see ourselves. The story of the Jaglion reminds us that belonging is not just about bloodlines. It is about place, purpose, and acceptance. Without these, even the most powerful blood cannot bring peace. The Jaglion's muscles, its strength, its beauty, none of it matters if it cannot find a home. For us, the challenge is clear. Will we continue to create lives without purpose, or will we learn to protect those who already have one? Will we marvel at rarity, or will we honor authenticity? The Jaglion cannot answer these questions for us, but its very existence demands that we ask them. And as we stand before its cage, staring at the creature that should never have been, we are left not only with admiration but with responsibility. The Jaglion's suffering is the price of our curiosity. Its beauty is stained with our choices, and its silence asks us a question that lingers long after we walk away. When will we learn that not everything rare is meant to exist?